everybody, thanks for joining again. Today's going to be some fairly intense ab work, working up towards the end to a little bit of plank face down with some adaptations on a plank. So we'll get straight on the mat. We'll start with a warm up in ab prep. Lying out flat, legs out straight. If that is too much on your lower back, as you know, you can just slightly bend the knees and that'll just take the strain off the lower back. But preferably legs out straight to engage that core properly. Draw the belly button towards the spine, engage that transverse abdominis muscle about 30% and breathing through the ribs, not through the belly. Just take a few breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just feel that rib cage against your palms. Pressing into the palms and expanding laterally as you breathe in, and collapsing away from the palms as you breathe out. Just take a few breaths, give yourself a chance to become heavy on the mat. Bring the arms down by the sides, and then we're just going to lift them up off the ground, palms facing each other. Nice big breath in, engage the core, press the belly button to the spine, and just lift the upper body off the ground using the abs. Keep that belly button down, don't blow the belly out. Inhale down. Exhale up, really squeeze into that position, tuck the abs up and under the rib cage and scoop round, press the lower back into the mat. Inhale back down. Try not to ram the chin into the chest like that, just keep it nice and open, just lift the head slightly, just keep the chin away from the chest. Inhale down, let's do 4 more. Exhale up, really squeeze and down. You can see it's not a big movement. It's not a big sit up or a crunch. It's just ab prep, preparing the abs. And 2 more. Exhale. Inhale down. And last one. And down. Now that uses all of the abs, but it primarily works the upper abs because you're working from the top. Now we're going to work from the bottom by bringing the legs into tabletop position, targeting lower abs, although it is still going to use all of the abs. Both legs, tabletop position, hands down by your sides, keeping the knee at 90 degrees, hinging from the hip. You're going to exhale down and inhale back up. Exhale down, switching sides, and inhale back up. Making sure that the pelvis stays exactly where it is by engaging the abs and keeping them locked in place, not letting the pelvis drop away like this so you're rocking around on the mat. The upper body should be completely still, just the leg moving and the core and abs controlling the pelvis. Lower back just very slightly pressed into the mat. Nice and slow, so you're using control through the hip flexors and controlling the pelvis through the abs. So this is all about precision and control, not about getting as many reps in as you can. Exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. Really engage that core so that you're completely still on the mat. And up, really feeling those hip flexors starting to kick in now. And last one on each side. Exhale down, inhale up, taking both legs down to the mat, bringing yourself up to seated. Going to take the arms behind you, fingertips pointing towards the body. There is an adaptation to have the fingertips pointing away if that's too much on your wrists, but you can't do this in this position because you'll be too locked in through the elbows and the wrist. So ideally here, knees bent, and you're just going to drop back onto the sacrum, slightly bending the elbows. And we're going to bring the legs up to tabletop position. From here, we're going to extend one leg out and just rock back slightly with the elbows and come back up to straight through the back. Extend and drop back, inhale back. So it's an adaptation on toe taps really, but with a longer leg extension, so the leg becomes relatively heavier, A little bit of tricep work as you dip back, and a bit more on the hip flexors because you're closing them up even more. So exhale down, nice and long through the leg. Inhale back up, nice straight back. Exhale. Inhale back up. Again, keep that chin away from the chest so you don't at the bottom end up here. It's nice and open and up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Really controlling through the core. Keep that belly button drawn towards the spine. And 2 more on each side. Feeling those triceps by now. And last one on each side. And bringing yourself to seated or lying out flat if you want to give yourself a bit of a rest. Just have a wriggle out before we go into the next exercise, whatever makes you feel most comfortable. And we're coming back into that seated position with knees bent. Fingertips just lightly behind the ears, and you're going to just drop back into a C-curve spine this time. So the chin comes slightly towards the chest, you drop back onto the sacrum, curve the spine, draw the belly button in. And as you rotate, bring the knee towards the elbow. Try not to hunch into this, just make it a rotation, bring the knee up to the elbow rather than you hunching towards it. And down back to center and the other side. And rotate, bring the knee to the elbow. Exhale as you rotate, inhale back to center. Exhale to rotate, that's it. Keep that core engaged, keep that C-curve spine. Try not to end up sitting all the way up here doing it. Try and stay back on the sacrum, lifting the knee towards the elbow. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. And down. Give yourself a nice stretch out, lying out flat. Wriggle the legs, wriggle the hips, give them a little bit of a rest. We're going to come up to a hold. From seated, very similar. Hip flexors are really going to be feeling this now. Abs have really been working to control that. Going to bring the arms out in front. From straight seated, you're going to drop onto the sacrum back into that C-curve spine. With bent knees, you're going to bring one leg up and the second leg up. You're going to balance there. You're going to hold. C-curve spine, belly button drawn in. Breathing normally. Keeping that breathing going as you hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and gently one leg at a time down to the mat. Bring yourself up, hug the knees to give those hip flexors a little bit of a rest. I'm going to do 2 more of those. It's about a 10-second hold each time. Arms come up, straight back. Drop back onto the sacrum into C-curve. Relax the shoulders though. Bring one leg up, bring the second leg up. Find that balance point. Keep that core engaged to control yourself. Hip flexors are working to hold the legs up. Breathing all the time. Relaxed shoulders for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 leg and second leg. And bring yourself back to seated. Holding the knees will just mean the arms take the strain, that the hip flexors can relax. Just taking a couple of breaths. Bring those arms back up, relaxing the shoulders straight back, dropping back into C-curve again. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Last time, going to bring one leg up, second leg up, holding there. Find that balance point. Try and get the shins parallel to the ground and that nice V shape and the hip flexors drawing in through the core. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and gently one leg down at a time. Bring yourself to whichever rest position you want. Having a little wriggle out. Bring yourself down to the mat. We're going to go into a bridge now. We've done a little bit of ab and hip flexor work. We're now going to just go to the posterior chain to balance things out. Bending the knees, feet flat on the floor so you could just about graze the ankles without reaching too much with the fingertips. Nice breath in. We're going to just squeeze the glutes and go up into a bridge. I'm just going to use this as a warm-up. We've done this plenty of times before. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. So squeeze the glutes, keep them squeezed to push yourself up, straight line through knee, hip and shoulders, rolling back down. Make sure you're using that roll through the spine rather than just lifting it as a flat plank. Roll up individual vertebrae at a time and roll back down. And let's just do 3 more. Exhale up. And 2. And 1. So we're just going to adapt this a little bit. We're going to continue with the bridges, but this time we're going to bring in a reverse crunch. So we're going to bridge, down, reverse crunch. Feet down. Make sure the feet plant straight down so they're in that position where you can just about reach them. So after the reverse crunch, don't let them end up out there. Keep them where they were. So we're going to take that breath in as you exhale, roll up, roll down and squeeze the knees towards the chest. Don't press the hands into the mat. Roll up, roll down and squeeze up. Feet down, roll up, roll down, squeeze. For 4, 3, using your breath all the time. 2, and 1. So we're going to continue this, but we're going to make it a little bit harder by lifting the arms straight up in the air so you don't have them on the ground anymore. Not only does that stop you pushing, it also means that your lateral stability needs controlling more by the core. So again, big breath in as we go for pushing up, down, squeeze and down. Try not to kick the knees to the chest. Squeeze with control and lower back down. Up, down, squeeze, down. Up, down, squeeze and down. For 5, 4, 3, breathing all the time. 2, and 1. Gently down to the mat. Hug those knees into the chest to give yourself a little bit of a rest. Rocking side to side. If you need to stretch, then by all means stretch. Nice long pencil stretch. Whatever's most comfortable for you at this point. We're going to turn over onto our fronts and we're going to start with a plank hold. So get those elbows down directly beneath the shoulders. We don't want them out here. Don't want them too tucked in either. Directly beneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes at the back. Nice big breath in, lock in through the core, squeeze the glutes to lift up into plank. Holding there for 5, 4, breathing all the time, and 1, lower the knees, lower the hips, give yourself a little wriggle out. Really easy start there just to get set up. I'm going to lift back up. Big breath in, exhale, squeeze the glutes, switch on that core, holding in that plank position. Breathing all the time. Squeeze the glutes at the back and draw the core in at the front for 5, 4, 3, 2, and gently knees down, hips come down. We're going to come back up a little bit longer again on this next one. This is the last hold and then we're going to adapt it a little bit. So that breath in, lock in through the core, squeeze the glutes, push the floor away with the elbows and holding here. Breathing all the time. Palms facing each other, not rotated in like this. Palms out, that keeps the shoulders open. Holding here. A little bit longer, breathing all the time to control the effort for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down, hips down, wriggle out. Take a few breaths. And we're going to adapt this slightly. We're coming back up into plank, but we're going to then move the legs out to the side and switch sides for 10. So 5 each side. Going to come up into the plank as usual. So lifting up, breathing as we take the leg out. 4, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, and 5. And with control, knee to the mat and down. I'm going to do one more set of those. It's a good exercise, this one, so for the purposes of the video, we're just doing one more set. If you're finding this useful, by all means pause the video, do another couple of sets. That goes for all of the exercises really, but this one in particular for this video. So nice breath in, squeeze the glutes, draw the core in, lift up into plank, and 1, 1, 2, nice and still through the body, just the leg moving, 4, 5, 5, I've lost count, so I'm going to do another 1 for luck, and knees down, hips down, and just wriggling out to relax. Just take the arms down just to take a little bit of stress off the shoulders, because we're going to go into a shoulder stretch now. It's still using the plank, but we're going to go into what's called a dolphin. It's a slight adaptation on like a downward facing dog, but it's on the elbows. Most people who've been to class have done this one from time to time. So we're going to bring those elbows back. You're going to come up into plank, but you're going to just walk the feet forward so your backside's sticking up very slightly, not too much at this point. Then you're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to drop between the shoulders, bend the knees slightly and really open up the shoulders. And forwards into plank. Exhale, push back, bend the knees, get more into the shoulders. And forwards. And back, bend the knees, really drop between the shoulders and forwards. Breathing all the time. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. And gently lowering the knees, lowering the body, just having a little bit of a wriggle out. We're almost there. Once again, that's a good stretch and strength exercise for the shoulders, more mobility than stretch actually. So if you want to pause the video and focus on that a little bit more, then by all means do. We're going into the last exercise though. So for this, I'm going to come flat to the mat, tuck the hands under the shoulders, thumbs just grazing the pecs, tuck the toes at the back, squeeze the glutes, draw the core in and push yourself up into high plank. If that's too much, then just bring yourself into high plank by all means. Holding in high plank, squeeze the glutes for control, draw the core in. And we're going to bring one leg directly out to the side. Doesn't matter which, because we're going to do both. You're then going to keep the chest square to the floor and drop the hip to the ground. That's going to give you a good stretch through the glute. Come back up, take that leg back and switch sides. As directly out to the side 90 degrees as you can. If you're down here, that's fine, but try and make it as high as you can. Drop the hip to the ground. Hold for a second or two. Come back up, bring the leg back. Going to bring this leg out, switching sides each time. Drop the hip. Give yourself a chance to really feel that stretch. Back up, take the foot back and switch sides. Dropping into that stretch. Trying to keep the chest as square to the ground as you can. And up and back. I'm just going to add a little bit of a pulse now, so down and then up, down, 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 and back. Switching sides. Down, and then down, 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 and up, and back. Once more on each side, and round, down, then down, 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 and up. Last side, across, down, 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 and back. Come to centre, knees come to the ground. Knees come mat width apart, toes together at the back, dropping back into that child's pose. Again, active. Feel this really relax through the hips and the glutes now. Elbows up off the ground for the time being, forehead off the ground for the time being. Really creep those fingertips forwards to open up the shoulders. Big breaths. Get that oxygen in and also try to return the breathing to normal. Gentle rock from side to side will help to open up the shoulders, hips and the back. Big breath in, and on this exhale we're going to take the arms to the mat, forehead to the mat, and relax. Staying here for as long as it takes to return your breathing to normal, and in your own time use your hands to walk yourself back to seated, and we're all done. Hope you enjoyed that one. Fairly simple movements, but actually quite hard work if you really get into it. It's been quite warm in this room today. I don't know if you've noticed that it's got me a little bit of a sweat on. I'm not sure about you. Thanks for joining as ever. Comments, questions, feedback, just put them down below and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. And I'll see you soon.